So I would like to thank you once again for inviting me here today, especially to talk about this very interesting topic. It's very dear to my heart. Next slide, please. In the University Hospital of Montpellier, we realized that the clinical situation of EHS people was characterized by headaches. We also realized that EHS people had the same profile as people suffering from migraine. And we have a majority of women aged between 30 and 60 years old. We also realized that in EHS people, we have specificities of migraines in 6 cases out of 10, and we also saw positive results after treatment against migraine. And so we wondered whether EHS could be integrated in the observation and the analysis of migraines. In 2018, ANSES developed a report about EHS, and it recommends the definition of migraine symptoms to determine whether these EHS people have more migraines than the population as a whole. And to answer this question, we used the French version of a questionnaire to detect migraine, and this was published by our Belgian colleagues, and I would like to seize this opportunity to thank them. They wanted to highlight the prevalence of migraine in EHS people, and we did that, next slide please, with the support of associations supporting EHS, such as Robin des Toits, the Zone Blanche Association, and many others that I cannot mention today, but I would like to thank them very warmly. And in the framework of this study, we disseminated a questionnaire, and all the EHS people, adults, French-speaking, could actually answer this form and these questions and send them to us. So we realized that 60% of EHS people were suffering from migraine, and we needed 256 answers, and we received 317, and we analyzed 293. So that was enough to analyze our hypothesis. Now, we only kept the 293 cases because some of them were suffering from CMS only. And as you can see on this map, all the questionnaires came from different regions in France, and including people from the outermost French regions. And according to the results, we can see that 230 patients were suffering from headache, invalidating headaches, and 191 could be considered as suffering from migraine. And this gives us a prevalence of 65% and even up to 83%. And if we consider that our sample is representative, because this is always a difficulty for EHS, it means that we really have a prevalence that is between 11 and 40% in EHS. It is higher than the prevalence level of this pathology for women aged between 35 and 39 years old. So we're far beyond the figures that we can observe in the population as a whole. Then there's another element that was observed. Thanks to the results of the questionnaire, we realized that very few people suffering from EHS were taking treatment, and they're not taking anything to fight against migraine, even in the times of crisis. And as a conclusion, I would say that this work leads us to make 2 observations. On the basis of our clinical observations, we can see that the prevalence of the migraines in people suffering from each EHS is much higher compared to the general population, and we need to go on with this work, with this research. We need some support. And then it also highlights that EHS people should benefit from support from caregivers to receive some help, especially coming from the French association that studies headaches and migraine. So this is all I wanted to share with you at this stage, and I would like to thank you very much for your attention.